Hello. Massive skill issue. Hello, everybody. Uh, 100%ed everything before this. So now I only have Lahai Roy left. So I'm just doing a little bit on stream. Come on, man. You're a capybara. They know how to make dams. You can't solve a puzzle. I think you're thinking of beavers, dude. I think you're thinking of beavers. Hello? Is that a bug? Do I need to, like, jump through it? Well. 50 asteroids? Nah, this gives, I think, like, 35 or something. Oh, compensation? For what? Is it because of that beefy ass knight? Was that like a mistake or something? Or nah? I haven't got anything. It's a joke for the portal? Oh. True. Wait, what? 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 Wait, wait. How did that just happen? I just went fully through it. Am I insane? Yo. The hitboxes on this shit is trash, man. 100 Jades for Pure Fiction bug? Yeah, I saw it. I get it because I'm on Asia too. Oh, it finally reset. I mean, I can't do it on this account. I have a pretty established 3 teams. And I want a 4th team. Should I wait till Annie or go for Amos/Luke Toon Break? In my opinion, given the history of this game, unlike HSR, I don't think their flagship units are Annie units. I think they're just the Senreses. So probably Ameth. Although you already have 3 teams, I'd also say at that point, if they're like good teams, I just go for the character you end up liking more. But in terms of just pure meta, it'll probably be Ameth. I want to get Linne and Ameth. Do they synergize? Yes, literally perfectly. I have high doubts that they will replace Linne for Ameth. I think Linne is the best in slot for Ameth. She takes advantage of legit every buff. Who is the third member on the team? That we don't know yet. It's like a toss up between Mornai and Chisa. If she's like heavily reliant on her negative status damage, then Chisa. But if the negative status damage ends up being underwhelming, like it is with like Arrow Erosion and Spectral Frazzle, then it'll probably be Mornai. But either way, it should be close, which is nice. There we go. And that's that. Are you still playing ZZZ after that video? Yeah. I played a little bit earlier. It's just that I'm hard focusing on Wuwa right now because I'm trying to get Chikona or Linne. Either way, whichever one I get is like a massive boon, but like their banners are gone soon. They have 10 days left. While Yeshun Guang, I have her guaranteed and she's lasting like 30 days. So, I'm like kind of hyper focusing on Wuwa right now in this account. And then whether I lose 50-50 or I get Linne or Chikona, I'll refocus on ZZZ. I don't think they're gonna make a Fusion Burst sub DPS, to be honest. Like they could, but like here's the thing about Wuwa, they almost never release the DPS before their best in slot support. They always do the opposite. They release the support first, and then they release the DPS. On top of this, Linne having perfect synergy with all her buffs for Ameth makes me at least get. I'd say it's like a 95% chance that Linne is like definitive best in slot that doesn't get replaced. Will you keep playing both Wuwa accounts actively or will this become your main? I think what I'll do is the same thing I did with my HSR accounts. I'll make this my main. However, if there's like a character I'm looking forward to, but I don't feel like pulling on my main account, I will then refocus on my other account. So that would be my Q Yuan. So for example, if I don't want to get Rebecca on this account because I'd rather go for a different team, then I'll build around Rebecca on my other account. My other account is basically characters that I like the most. And then this one's an actually like optimal pull account, you know what I'm saying? Like characters that I also like but like are also favored by meta kinda. Cuz like an S6 cart for example, I mean, I don't think I need to explain how broken she is. I can basically just run her solo and clear everything. I could do that with my QU1 as well, but like carts on a different level of that. See you later, rookie. Evelyn A, should I pull for Ameth? I mean, they're best in slot with each other, so you don't need Ameth. I think Lene has like general enough buffs to where even if you aren't like fully taking advantage of the Reslib amp, she's still incredibly strong. But at the same time, that makes me worried for like how strong the sub DPSs are going to be in their specific niches in this version. So it's kind of hard for me to say definitively. I'd like to think you can use almost anyone with Lene and she'll still be incredible value. But yes, you'd want Ameth like most optimal, I guess. You should pull for all of them. Not everybody's rich, man. I myself, I'm like, dude, I spent a disgusting amount on gotchas in the last month. Not like actually disgusting, like whale levels or anything, but for my standards, an unhealthy amount. I'm holding back on that shit from now on. I even stopped, like I promised people that if I lost a 50-50 for Yeshun Guang, I'd drop 100. I just didn't do it. No, thank you. Chat, I'm having like such a hard time deciding. I guess I should just get Chacona on rerun because my S6 cart just doesn't need Chacona right now. It's hard for me to decide because like the meta slave inside me, knowing that Chacona is like 40+% stronger than using Sanhua, and like my S6 cart is already incredibly strong. It's like bigger number, you know what I'm saying? But Lene is just the way better pull for building into my second team with Ameth. It's like they're both on the same level of value, kinda. I am on 46 pity, so I'm still far away though. Save for Mornai. Lene is the more important pull if I'm targeting Ameth, in my opinion, because not Mornai. I think Ameth can use either Chisa or Mornai. However, there's like a definitive best in slot sub DPS, which is going to be Lene. So that's why I'm like considering Lene even above Mornai. Mornai would be higher value for this new end game for sure. Because she's probably going to get 2 Vigor like SK and Verena. So you can use her twice. But I don't give a shit about the new end game. I already talked about that. This new end game, keep in mind, with this account, an S6 cart, and I like actually pull smartly, probably before the end of this version, I will be able to max clear that mode. But I really just don't give a shit about it, man. Like, I absolutely hate it. Would you have spent so much if you weren't making content? No, I wouldn't have. Not at all. I wouldn't even be playing these gacha games as much as you guys see me play them if I wasn't a content creator. Um, I'd play them like a couple times every single patch, more on my own time, instead of actually bothering to like do a bunch of stuff. That would probably be what I do. I can maybe see myself like playing Wua the most. Wua or Where Winds Meet. Wee. All right, let's see. I need to find some other stuff. There's one right here actually. Is this your S6Q account? No, this is my S6 cart account. With invested Cartethia cons, I did about 15-ish more damage percent with Chacona. That sounds wrong. Because I think Chacona becomes more important at Cartethia S6 and with like sequences. She keeps the same jump over like Sanhua and stuff. Because at S6, arrow erosion becomes way more of like part of your damage output. Because the more arrow erosion is constantly inflicted, the more it explodes. So like over here, after casting Reslib, raise the arrow erosion stacks on the target to the max. Casting Resonance Lib no longer removes arrow erosion stacks. And then down here, when any resonator in the team inflicts arrow erosion, so like Chacona, she's constantly inflicting that shit, and they hit max stacks, it'll immediately trigger the arrow erosion damage. Cart is S3? Yeah, but I feel like even at S3, I feel like it should be more. Maybe it's because, like, Chacona's taking up time. So if, like, you do a really smart rotation with Chacona, obviously the damage percent overall would be bigger, maybe. It's also convenience, right? Because, like, you can't only look at damage because you don't need to swap. Wait, actually, with S3 cart, you don't need to swap that much either. Man, I'm such a rookie when it comes to Cartethia, man. I'm such a goddamn rookie. I barely know how this character functions. Forget Ameth, Luke is coming. Uh... Luke sounds absolutely badass. However, he's more likely of someone I'd pull on my QU1 account than this one. Just gonna be honest. It's like I was saying earlier. When it comes to like characters I like plus meta, that's what this account is for. But when it comes to characters I like that aren't meta, I think that's what my QU1 account is gonna be for. S2 cart is really good. It's one of the best in the game. It becomes the best in the game definitively when you learn a new rotation with her, in which you do like 2 or 3 plunges. I think it's two. Yeah, three sounds bonkers. 2 plunges in a rotation, and it's like more than it shows on something like Pride, for example, right? Like Pride will show, I think, like a 50 or 60% jump to S2. You just add like 15 to 20% to that if you do that rotation. I'm so glad we can get sequences from the shop. Yeah. I wish it wasn't so goddamn expensive though. I'm saying that and it's like way fucking cheaper as compared to polling in terms of like guarantee, but like man, it takes me a while to build up to what is it like 360 coral? That's like 45 S6 4 stars. uh am I like brain dead or nah? Guys, I think I'm brain dead. Okay. Okay. Thank you. W. 3.1 kits are out? I don't think so. The end of HomDG Cat? Yeah. Well, it's not the end of the website. They'll still keep track of like every version's HP, which is like the best thing about HomDG. They like categorize things really well and allow you to see the HP and stuff. But yeah, we won't be able to use it for betas anymore and for like having early access to new enemies and stuff, which is unfortunate. It's not even only HomDG Cat. Apparently, a leak forum on Tieba on the CN side of things, a mod for the forum got sent like something that clearly they didn't like, and so they had to like fully apologize and say like, "Yo, I will no longer be posting leaks or anything related to leaks here." So yeah, it seems like right before version 4, they decided to fucking go crazy on the leakers. It seems like all of them are related to HSR, by the way. Like this Tieba leaker was HSR related. And then also like this entire thing seems mainly targeted towards HSR. Fuck it. Small cart versus a motorbike that can fly. Which one will win? Small cart. Why'd you even ask? Hakushin has trash EN translations, which can lead to some things being misunderstood. Now, most of the WUA player base has been using Hakushin this entire time because that's literally all they fucking have. And like yeah, like it's just the EN translations that can be an issue. Like let's say for example, uh a new upcoming character gives like vulnerability or something or res reduction on enemies, that can sometimes be translated as like damage bonus. And so now the character looks like complete dog shit. That's kind of like Hakushin. They probably were not happy about 4.x changes being leaked. I mean, to be honest, the HSR leaks have been like insanely dry lately. And they technically leaked or they didn't leak. They officially said that they themselves made changes because of what's going on. They were on one of their posts. I remember on Twitter, they're like, um, HSR drip markets will be delayed, patch will be delayed, this and that. So no wonder why WoW players say BS. Sometimes, I mean, the mistranslations aren't like insanely serious. Like Hakushin is 95% accurate, like most of the time. It's just that sometimes it can be weird. Like for example, Galbrina ended up being a lot stronger than we originally expected in earlier beta versions because what we thought was damage bonus was actually vulnerability on the enemy the entire time. So Galbrina went from looking like basically Carlotta level, which is, keep in mind, really bad for a late 2.x DPS, to then being like one of the top DPSs in the version. It's like, okay, this makes more sense. Like, it just feels weird for a 2.7 DPS to be competitive with Carlotta, right? Like, Prolova noticeably better, Cartethia's noticeably better, Zandy's noticeably better, um, Augusta's noticeably better. It just didn't make sense. Carlotta is really bad. I don't want to like hate on Carlotta too much because like if she also got a dedicated sub DPS, she would be on the same level as like Galbrina and Augusta and stuff, right? Like you need to keep in mind, Lene, who isn't at all meant for Carlotta, right? Like Carlotta doesn't use Reslib. I believe she uses like resonant skill damage bonus buff or something. But um Lene is better than Zeshi for Lada. And like she's a res lib buffer. So it's like so if they made like a resonant skill version of Lene, Carlotta would probably be like Augusta level. But are they going to make that anytime soon? Probably not. So it's like, and by the time they do, we're already going to have a new power ceiling. right? Like we got Ameth coming up soon. Ameth's gonna have her full best in slot team on release, by the way. So like we're gonna see the full power, which will be interesting. We finally get the first main DPS of this entire version. Does she just do more damage than Zashi buffs Carlotta? No, I'm pretty sure she just has stronger buffs, especially if you have her Sig. Like I remember, I mean, we can go through it right now. Actually, I guess going through the gallery. Lene. So Lene gives 15% general amp on her outro skill, right? Something pretty rare as compared to the older sub DPSs. So there's just 15% amp there. Her res lib gives 24% damage bonus, right? So 24% damage bonus there. Of course, she has like the Toon Rupture and Toon Strain as well. On top of this, her set, I think, buffs the incoming Resonator's attack by 30%. And then I believe her forecast may as well give something. I don't remember correctly, though. But yeah, like, it's also damage as well. Like it's also damage. Because if you guys remember, when I made that, like, first video ever I made about Toon Break and its damage, Lene basically lets you do like the event's damage, right? Like back then, the damage you did with Toon Break back then, Lene can do that if you have her on your team. But if you don't, your Toon Break does legit like less than half that damage. So it's a damage aspect. It's also just having insane amount of buffs just generally in your kit as compared to older sub DPSs. And she has a stronger weapon, so outperforms Zeshi. I have no idea what Toon Strain and Toon Rupture do. Toon Strain makes the enemy get debuffed and take more damage by incoming Resonator. Toon Rupture is just a big chunk of damage that you get every single time you Toon Break, and it doesn't have any other effects. So currently, because there's a lot of characters in this game that can't respond to Toon Strain or Rupture as main DPSs, well, actually, there isn't any. There's no reason to use Lene's Toon Strain. But upcoming Luke and Ameth have um, Toon Strain and Rupture response in their kits. So it's likely that you use Toon Strain on Lene when you're using Ameth or Luke. That's kind of how it's going to work, likely. Nobody's going to pull for Luke Harrison. I wouldn't say that. He is kind of being set up, though. like they're really setting him up by putting him on the second half next to Ameth. But he sounds absolutely badass. I'd like to think. Well, actually, QU1 had really low sales. Brand had really low sales, even if they looked cool. Yeah, I think Luke might be fucked. Like, he literally has the Sen Res equivalent of Lahai Roy running right before him. Like it's not gonna look good for the banner sales. But Luke sounds cool. Like, apparently he has a cross, he has a scythe, he uses his own golden blood to form a bunch of things. Yeah, Bonway actually has the lowest sales in the history of the game, I think. Like, I saw someone post like the sales charts a little bit ago to show like how like the top 3 selling banners in ZZZ history, which are Miyabi, Ellen, and Yeshun Guang. And Bonway I think was legit the lowest, which is sad. Oh shit, I thought that was a tape. I was wondering, like, I'm pressing T. Why isn't it letting me do that? You got any leak slash speculation about reruns next patch? No leaks. Speculation? They reran Zanny a little bit ago. They just reran Fro. They just now reran Cart and Cha. Who's next on the chopping block? Augusta Yuno's probably soon. Yeah, I think they're in this patch actually. I think they're in the second phase if I remember correctly. So that would mean 3.1 reruns would be Galbrena QU1. That's the most likely case scenario. Galbrena QU1 will probably be the 3.1 reruns. Oh yeah, Chisa. Wait, it might be too early for Chisa to rerun actually. I think it's more likely that Chisa reruns in like 3.2, or maybe just Tilde Annie. 1.x are never rerunning at this point. I mean, if they do the exact same way they did the anniversary last time, they'll just all rerun on the Annie. So they might be thinking like, oh, we don't even need to give these guys any reruns because they'll rerun soon anyways. Do you know if we'll get more AMF leaks before Linné banner ends? Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, 10 days. I'm pretty sure Wua beta is soon. It's in like a week, like less than a week. But I'm talking about like when we actually have a good amount of information on them, and I can maybe base an opinion on it. Probably like a week from now. Do you think Yuno, Linné Mornai slash SK will remain a competitive team until late 3.x? No. I think they'll be a good enough team for clearing endgame content for sure. Like if that's what you're asking, like just clearing endgame, I think they'll be completely fine. But like competitive, no, no. In my opinion, and I can be proven wrong, we're gonna get the leak soon, right? Again, I think from what I've seen from Wua, they like when they push the power ceiling of the game to make the new DPS team 20 to 25% stronger. They really like this number. So if they were to do this when it comes to Kartethia's team, that would put Ameth at around the 2.5 million plus damage range, which is 700k more than Yuno's team. And that's the first DPS of this entire version. There's another Senrez in 3.6 that'll probably push the power ceiling again. So that would probably push it to like 3 milli. This isn't even including ceilings either. Like some of these teams could just have straight up higher ceilings. Most likely one is Ameth. Yeah, I played the new Pure Fiction reset without my Evernight that I wailed on. So like all the characters I obtained free to play, dude, I could have gone max score, but no joke, because of how long it took me to get Sirene's ult and like get my Phanon into his ult, I took an extra 2 cycles before getting into Phanon's ult because of the bugs exploding and not letting my characters move. I was gonna make like a meme pure fiction video about it, but I was like too tired. So I was like, I'll leave it for another day. Is Yang's SP real? Yeah, that's a real leak. It was already leaked a while back, actually. Like, some of you may not know this. Step Leaks already leaked the possibility of 5-star Yang Yang being in the upcoming version a long time ago. Like, a long time ago. However, now, it's like this Iris thing is basically a collective of leakers on Fractured Shores, and they only post leaks that they are incredibly confident in. So it's basically guaranteed Yang Yang SP is in this version. High chance. Should be Hot Pepper. At least the kit's on Hakushin. Gameplay may take a while. I mean, yeah, this is the other thing you guys should probably like keep in mind as well. They like when it comes to Ameth and making her stronger than previous DPSs, technically speaking, they can cheat by saying, oh, Ameth herself isn't actually that much stronger, but then make her like damage when doing Toon Rupture or Strain just way fucking stronger. Like they really could just go that route. It's like full best in slot team takes advantage. It's basically the same thing with Cart, right? Like when you look at Cart and you see her overall damage output, if you remove the arrow erosion procs, she's actually like kind of in line with the rest of the DPSs. So you can make the excuse like, oh, it's just because she's negative status. It'd be the same thing here. Oh, it's because she's like targeted towards Toon Break and Toon Strain and Toon Rupture that she's this much stronger. That's probably the way they're gonna do it. That you don't need her best in slot team. I've been pretty open about saying that like so far, I think the third slot could be decently competitive in a Ameth team. And that might be where like you have options. But when it comes to the sub DPS slot, I don't see anyone fucking getting rid of Lene for an Ameth. Like at all. I just don't see it happening. Sorry. It doesn't. It's probably going to be a noticeable drop off. I'm not saying Chacona levels, right? I'm not going to go that far, but I'm saying like 20 to 25% weaker if you use anyone who isn't Lene with Ameth. Yeah, Tuwomp, apparently the owner had a bunch of like IRL issues going on, so just closed Tuwomp. However, other people who were maintaining Tuwomp are currently working on just making a new website themselves, basically. That has nothing to do with the original owner. I mean, I think it's fine to skip Lene. She's good value, but I made my video on this earlier, like this week, of like the must pull fallacy. Like in reality, there's a solid chance that they can make a Lene, but for basic attack for Luke, in which it would mean that Lene isn't the only option and she isn't really a must pull. But if we're talking about Ameth, I think that's a different topic altogether. Like she's probably going to be noticeably best in slot for Ameth. You just have to look at the buffs, right? You have to look at it this way, like I was talking about earlier. If Lene can power creep Zeshi for a resonance skill damage dealer while she is a res lib buffer, what do you think a res lib DPS with Ameth and a DPS who can take advantage fully of Linnea's Toon Strain and Rupture will be able to do. Right. So when you look at it that way, plus she's also probably going to have a way stronger SIG because it can stack up to 24% damage bonus. I just see Linnea kind of taking it home like pretty easily. I just don't think there's anyone else who can compete at all. Do you think Chisa would be viable as sustained? Yeah. Like that's the only thing that looks kind of like competitive right now. Is like, will Mornai be better? So you can trigger more Toon Ruptures? Or will Chisa be better because of the better negative status damage? Like, I think that one's pretty close. And if anything, it might lean more towards Chisa. Because the multiplier I saw in the fusion dot is insanity. Like, it's incredibly high, the multiplier. So, it's like 1400% or some shit. There's no fusion burst sub DPS. I just don't think it's happening. The only chance that there really was like maybe if they release Fusion Rover, but Rover is now confirmed to be Glacio. And I don't think they'll release more Fusion characters so soon after Ameth, because we've already gotten like a shit ton of Fusion characters in 2.x. So I just don't see it happening. It's going to stick to Linnea. Once again, you guys need to keep in mind 95, 99% of the time, Wuwa releases best in slot supports either right after said character releases or before. And we know that there is no sub DPS after Ameth. It's Luke. Right. So it can't be after unless they end up baiting you guys with a once in a millennia 3.2 best in slot support. And it can't be anyone earlier except for Linnea. Luke's best in slot is Linnea and Mornai. Well, currently yes, but it's likely Luke will get his own best in slot sub DPS for basic attack. Because Luke isn't res lib, he's basic attack. I mean, to be honest, like, when speaking about Mornai value, I feel like what's really underrated and what literally nobody talks about, but they should, considering these Lahai Roy enemies, is the fact that they gave Mornai, like, you have increased interruption resistance for characters on teams with Mornai. So you don't get ragdolled anywhere near as much as you usually do against Lahai Roy enemies, which means smoother rotations. There's also that to take into account. Didn't they nerf the interruption of enemies in the last leak? Yeah, but a lot of enemies still have a good amount of interruption. And it can also be like just the Lahai Roy enemy move sets. Like they are way more aggressive. They're like the Karasaurs from Septimont, except like for every single 3 cost basically. Like they all just keep attacking you. They never stop. Oh, aim. Guys, I don't know, man. Maybe. Probably. I don't know how sustainable AMS will. We don't have our kit. I can't speak on sequences. The only thing I can do right now is speculate off of the fact that she's negative status fusion burst and also likes tune break. And it also is res lib damage. So obviously that synergizes with Lene. That's as far as I can go. I don't understand why we went from flying to motorbike. Flying was peak. Well, we might get something similar to flying soon anyways. It was already leaked that we're gonna get like some type of like mecha traversal mechanic. Hello, Phoenix. How are you liking S6 Cartethia? I mean, I can't really test her much at all because I don't have any other teams on my account. So that means I can't build up to the higher floors of TOA or Weewa, especially not Double Pawns Matrix. But I will say, I checked how much the res lib damage did on solo cart. Uh, and keep in mind, my cart's only level 80, right? So not max traces, kind of scuffed echoes and stuff like that. And then I looked at someone else's video of the res lib damage, and holy fuck, dude. It's like night and day. What the? But yeah, like my solo cart at S6 with max arrow stacks, no teammates, like each tick does like 92k. And then when I looked at someone with an S0 cart running like a full rotation with Chacona and stuff, it was like 50k per tick or something. Like it was so much lower. Please give me an early. Please. I beg. I know it's a 0.8% chance. You were 60 level like 2 days ago? That's my QU1 account. If I'm not talking about union level, I'm talking about character level. Character level is 80. Do Lene or Mornai increase how fast you can tune break? Yeah, Mornai does. She has 50%. If you play HSR, just think of Ruan Mei. You tune break 50, or you build up to a tune break 50% faster. The off tune build up, as this game calls it. I get confused because, like, in my mind, it's literally just break efficiency from Ruan Mei. So I just, like, think about it that way. Weakness break efficiency? Yeah. Basically. I don't think you would survive Enfield's gacha with these habits. I mean, I just wouldn't do like if I played Enfield, I obviously wouldn't do the same thing. Like if you do the same fucking pulling habits in these gacha games on Enfield with the way his pity system is, like you might be slow. At least if like you know you can't afford it. Like that might be the worst thing anyone could do. Ugh. Oh yeah, Lene is hard carrying so many teams currently. Like I watched it's Senpai's Wuwa video a little bit ago, and he's like, oh, let me test if older characters can still clear. Big ups to him, right? Don't get me wrong, but then he throws a Lene on the team, and it's like, for those who don't know, using Lene on this tower not only removes 15% res reduction from enemies, but also gives you like 40% damage amp. And in the first place, Lene's already busted. So it's just a hard fucking carry from Lene. Schlag. I'll check the TOA buffs in a little bit after this. Yo, can you give me like the thing, please? Yep. Oh my god. Yo. Oh, I got it. I'm getting 600k with Yao and Lene and TOA. Yeah, I'll check the buffs right now. Oh, have you never played this type of game before? Nope. So this is just negative status shill for both Cart and Zanny. And then yeah, right here. So enemies have their res increased by 15%. If you have a shield, you're unaffected by this. So you can use like some cheap ass Yan Wu, or actually do what this game's trying to get you to do, which is use Augusta, right? Um, so it's either you use Augusta or like a fucking Yan Wu, or you just use Lene, right? Because when enemies take rupture damage, this shit gets removed. And then the other part down here is when Resonators cast a Doom Break damage amp, I think it is. I don't know if this is damage amp or damage bonus. I don't remember, right? But total damage of all Resonators in the team increases by 10%. This effect can be triggered once every 15 seconds and stack up to 3 times. However, when you go down here, when any Resonator in the team deals Toon Rupture, the total damage of all Resonators in the team increases by 40%. So it, like, yeah, 15% less resistance and 40% damage amp if you use Lene on teams. I thought damage amp and damage bonus was the same thing. Nah, it's not. Damage bonus is like weaker. Damage amp is overall, right? Damage amp is. I think Arrow Rover's weapon is actually this. I think Arrow Rover's weapon is damage amp, and this is why Arrow Rover is so good for cart, and why Arrow Rover is literally better than Chisa if you don't have her weapon. It's because of this weapon. It's basically 26% arrow damage amp for cart, which is incredibly strong. %? Yeah, but this is just a shield tower. Like, this shit's gonna disappear in the next reset, probably. Well, actually, will it? They might make it last 2 resets. I could see it. Damage amp is like vulnerability in HSR? No, no, no. This game has its own vulnerability. And vulnerability in this game is like enemy damage taken. Like, they have this wording for Galbrena, and they have this wording for QU1, a few of their special attacks. It'll say like enemy damage taken increased by like 30 to 40% for this attack, which is like vulnerability. Are you gonna do Pure Fiction on stream? No, I already did it. Oh, right, you can't use the bike here. Flight! my Shayla. My beautiful. Oh, how I've missed you. Look at you, just roaming freely, able to soar the skies without any limits. They grow up so fast. Holy leg. Nah, damage amp isn't true damage. At least I don't think it is. Maybe it is. Damage amp. Yeah, I think you're right. If you oversaturate on it, you don't get the direct increase you usually see through numbers. But if you have no damage amp, and then someone gives you 20% damage amp, you should do like 20% more damage, I think. So yeah, that's like that's the exact same as true damage formula. Is there a 100% ignore defense in Wua? No. I mean, Wua is getting like more open with selling defense ignore in some things. Like, for example, Chisa, they also reworked Havoc Bane. It went from like damage to just being like a defense reduction on enemies. But that's about it, to be honest. Holy shit, I almost have 100% on this. When's the beta gonna start for Woowa? In less than a week, around there. Galbrina is already weak since launch. Ameth gonna cook her. Galbrina isn't even weak though. She's just not like anything special. Like if you're looking for a pure high damaging team, you'd want Cart. If you're looking for a DPS with a lot of versatility, you'd want Prolova. If you want a team with a really fun high skill ceiling with quick swap, you'd get Mono Fusion. If you want a very free to play friendly team, you'd get Augusta. Galbrina is like she doesn't really specialize in anything at all. But I don't think she's bad. She's still like top DPS level temporarily. Once we get more 3.x main DPSs, that'll change. But she had her time. What way is Augusta free to play friendly? You don't need Yuno. Yuno's only like a 20% upgrade over Mortefi. And if it weren't for Mortefi's Mercado getting slightly nerfed, it'd be like less than 20%, I think. In Woowa, only having like a 20% upgrade from having the right sub DPS is insane. Like compared to a 4-star. Like that is pretty insane. Yeah, you can honestly do that, yeah. Kind of like a Caster's Evernight thing that I did with my own account. At this point, because of how much got buffed by Lene, you could just run them as separate DPSs, in all honesty. You could just run like a Lene Mornai, and then an Augusta Mortefi SK. Or you could just give SK to and use Verena with Agu. Either or. I could say Zanny's the real bait in Woowa. Fuck man, if you don't play her quick swap, it's mid as fuck. Well, yeah, for the average player, Zanny is like pretty big bait for sure. Like she has the most, she benefits the most from a high skill ceiling. But if you just play her like a casual player, yeah, she'd feel like shit, especially because of her Phoebe restriction. It's like, oh, I'm gonna force myself to pull Phoebe for her sub DPS to make her function correctly, and then she's gonna perform like Carlotta level for the average player. Like that's why so many people hate on Zanny. Zanny is really one for like the sweats in all honesty. Is high skill Zanny better than Cart? I don't know. Before Cartethia had Chisa, it was like definitively Zanny. But at this point, I think it's like neck and neck kinda. And then Cart has like way stronger sequence investment though. Like this is the thing. I think Cart is better overall still. Because if you don't pull for Chisa and you're smart and you just keep using Arrow Rover, that's -2 limited. And then Cartethia has the strongest sequences in the entire game. So it's better to just get like an S2 cart with Cha Arrow Rover than it is to get like a Chisa in there. And now you're like, yeah, you're definitively outperforming a Zanny for sure. We Humdy GCat isn't down. They're just no longer doing beta content because they likely just got caught by Hoyo finally. So they're still gonna keep the website up. They're still gonna update it with stuff that goes live, but that's it. It needs to be official, and they'll keep track of it. But they'll no longer like leak the upcoming end games. They'll no longer leak the new upcoming character kit info. Like none of that is going to happen anymore. Do you play endgame in WUWA? I can't play endgame in WUWA, dude. I did on my older account. I have like solo, like one team Augusta clears against WUWA, getting like triple S before I switch to my other accounts that are just way lower level without as many characters. Like I literally only have one limited character on this account, man. Like and so many of them are like insanely low level. What are the chances of a Chisa rerun on 3.1 or 3.2? Pretty likely. Pretty likely. Well, I actually think it's more likely her rerun is 3.2. If not, she'll just be on the Annie banners anyway, so it's like a... No, Hakushin gets their own info. They don't get their info from HomDG. Like, when kits get leaked and shit, like, it doesn't come from these websites. These websites usually just, like, translate it and then put it in after. That's kind of how it goes. They all have, like, their own translations, but they have, like, their own sources. Solo Cartethia, yeah. The plan is solo Cartethia, currently building up to get Linné for Ameth, and then I obviously build like a third team at some point, and then I just clear at least the base end games. I'll probably build off another DPS off of like the Cyberpunk collab, or like characters near that time period for my third team. Have you gotten any of the new standard weapons? No. Just EOG and Static Mist. The new standard weapons are cheeks. Like this account just doesn't give a shit. The gauntlets are good for Luke, but that's it. The new pistol is just worse for sub DPSs because there's no buffing on it. It's just damage. So I just don't give a shit about the pistol. And I even looked at it like it. Let's say you run DPS Linné, right? Apparently the new pistol is legit only 3% better than Static Mist. Like that shit is actually some buns, bro. That shit is some buns. So the new standard weapons absolutely changed nothing, man. For the most part. I think the biggest thing is going to be the gauntlets for Luke. Yeah, he did a Yun Lee cosplay literally like 2 or 3 days ago, and now he got caught. Some are just stat sticks. Yeah, yeah, there's that too. Like, if you literally have absolutely no other options for like, what was it, like Broad Blade? Yeah, and yeah, I think it's like Gauntlet. Because the old standards were dog shit. Like, yeah, they're better than the older standards just because of the stat stick. But that's it. That's as far as it goes. How much worse is it running SK over Zanny for Zanny over Rover? If you're an average player, it's like decently close. Like there's absolutely nothing wrong with running SK. The only time you'll see like S Rover kind of running away with it is for like those sweats, because S Rover can like apply Spectral Frazzle, also has time stop, and then especially if you're going against non Spectral Frazzle weak content, his Spectral Res reduction becomes like noticeably stronger. So yeah, but for an average player, you just run SK. That's what I used on my old main account. I just ran Augusta as one of my main teams, and then my other one was just Zanny Phoebe SK, and it worked just fine. Pistol's really good though. Pistol some cheeks, man. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. I was just talking about it earlier. It's literally only 3% better than Static Mist for Linne. Fucking 3%, man. Game changer. By the way, if anyone's wondering why like it's so dog shit, it's legit just damage bonus. It's just a little damage bonus. That's it. It's like 20, I think. Linne or Mornai? I don't know. That probably sucks to hear, but like, dude, we're just in the beginning of version 3. I've talked about this so much. It's so hard to be like, yeah, like this character is hella worth it, man, when it's the beginning of a version. But in terms of like which has better general value, it's Mornai. However, Linne is like currently unique, as in like she's the only generalist sub DPS in the game, so maybe Linne. I don't know, man. They're both like the same fucking thing. It's like the same thing. Ugh. It's just one's for sub DP. Oh, voice crack. One's for sub DPSs, the other one's for third slots. Ugh. The pistol's really good though. I use it for Carlotta with Static Mist being on Linne. Why not just get a second Static Mist? Having SK takes away pressure to pull for other supports. Yeah, that's true. I guess unless you care about double pawns matrix, you probably don't need to care about getting a third generalist support. Like if you already have Verena and SK, because you can just use Verena and SK for your middle towers, and then you can probably easily do side towers without like the optimal third slot. So it's really only double pawn matrix. Well, you know, this is assuming current TOA, okay? Probably like half a year to a year from now, the like is gonna get more beefy, and you might actually want optimal teams on the left and right towers. But until then, you're good. Why not get Carlotta Sig? Carlotta Sig is actually like the biggest bait of all time. It's understandable why no one would get it. Even before this new pistol came out, her Sig was only like a 20% jump. So with this introduction of the standard weapon, it's probably like a 15% jump. Like that's just a scam, bro. That's just a scam. Oh, I felt that one building up. I mean, it's a good thing that Carlotta can use a standard weapon that well. It would be nice if that could just continue, but ugh. Hoyo Shell? Yeah, dude. Carlotta won't be seen until the Annie '07. I mean, they just don't give a shit about Lotta no more, man. Like, she doesn't even have any premium teammates for them to sell to people. Because now Linnea's better. So it's like, you can't sell Zeshi. You've already done like 3 or 4 banners for SK at this point. You have like an SK equivalent releasing in the second half of 3.0. Carlotta herself is already like fallen off of the top DPS charts. Like, don't nobody want her no more, man. People have given up. Well, actually, like, the average player would love Lotta. Like, the average player would probably get more damage with Lotta than any other DPS in this version. Possibly. Probably. Because they blow. Which is, like, relatable, but. At least TOA isn't Glacial Res anymore. First since 2.4? Really? Why the fuck has it had Glacial? Bro, she's been the only Glacial limited DPS in the entire game. Holy shit. Wow. I actually wasn't even keeping track of uh, People complain about Genshin having a lot of filler patches, but these filler patches allow older characters to come back. I mean, I think wasn't there like someone that said like Wuwa doesn't want to have any more filler patches or something? Or was that ZZZ? I think I might actually be thinking of ZZZ. Never mind. Yeah, never mind. I don't think that was Wuwa. And then 2.8 happened. True. I love the conclusion to Chisa's story of her getting off screened. They should just add Blackbeard to this game. 90% of my chat won't have a clue what it is I'm referring to. But like with how much they like off-screening character stories and just moving on, like at this point just add Blackbeard, man. He'd fit right into this game. Miyabi and Carlotta walk so Hugo, Ellen, and Ling Yang could be crippled. I'm not gonna lie, Miyabi mains are actually crazy, dude. Like they be dealing with bosses that have like insane ice res, anomaly resistance, games going out of their way to nerf them as much as possible, and they still kill DA bosses. Like Jesus, she's crazy. Guys, I thought we've learned from now. Let's try our best to not abbreviate cyberpunk. Okay? It's the best for all of us. But yes, the collab will be hopefully flames, as the new gens call it. Void Hunter Queen shit, light work. Blue Archive collab. Uh, Lahai Roy seems too nice for Cyberpunk. That's because Cyberpunk likely won't take place in Lahai Roy. Or they'll have like an entirely separate area for it. Because as far as I'm aware, Lahai Roy in 3.3 is done. 3.4 is the collab, and then 3.5 is back to Huang Long. So, are we in Britain? True. We already got Asuna, Lene, and Hasumi Chisa and Wua, so yeah. I told myself I'd try playing Blue Archive a little bit ago, and then I just completely dropped the idea of that because I realized it'd add another gotcha that I'd have to suffer in. Unfortunate. Oh yeah, I really like that they added like the way you go through the supply chest event thingies now by just flying in the air, looking at them and getting them. Like that's so much better. Blue Archive unironically has one of the best gotcha stories in world building. Mm. Huanglong region seems full of male characters. Ugh, my friend. This is not the game to get your hopes up for stuff like that, okay? There could be a ratio of 10 men to 1 woman in a region, and we'd still get 90% woman, okay? So hold your horses. Exactly, Bronte. Wonderful, get a sentinel resonator that's male. I mean, low key, like ZZZ might do it. Like they might make a Void Hunter playable that's male, which is like the last thing I ever expected. So I hope Wuwa can do it as well with Ascend Res. It would be the awesome if it was like Geshu Lin or something. Technically, HSR has male Emanator. Well, yeah, with Phanon. Yeah, for sure. But like, I'm surprised ZZZ is possibly getting one. Uh, that's how it be, Bronte. I mean, whenever Scar comes out, that's a pretty, story related character. Scar. I think most of us can agree. That's like a decent one. Geshu Lin to a probably lesser extent, as far as we know currently, but best part is that he might be a support. No, I will not accept that. If they make the first support Void Hunter a dude, and then right after they'd release the Elysia XP. uh, oh yeah, I remember seeing something about that Bronte. That got changed for like censorship reasons. That was hilarious. He's not really combatant. I don't care. Okay? What are the chances that we get another male Void Hunter? We'll be 5 years into the game and he'll be the only one and he'll be a support. I don't care about what makes logical sense. He needs to do damage. Like, making Joyous a support is the equivalent of making Qyuan what he is in Wuwa. Like, it's just so depressing. Do you think Chisar Mornai going to be better for Ameth? No clue, man. I really think it goes either way depending on her kit scaling. So, just going to have to wait for that beta to come out. We have the Lightning standard character in Wuwa, which I forgot his name. Oh my god, I almost said Carlaro or something. Calcharo. This guy right here. People used to just call him Sephiroth. Now he has like a bajillion nicknames. Kakarot. Calculator. He was in the main story for 4 seconds. Hey, you know, quick cameo. I'll take it. Man, Calcharo gets too much glaze. It actually makes me mad. Oh, I used my cancel swap with my Calcharo, and he got buffed so much with Lene, he's meta now. Like, that shit PMO, man. That shit PMO. Not gonna lie. I hate seeing calculator glaze. Like, why can't I see more Ling Yang glaze on my recommended on YouTube? Why can't I see more, like, Encore glaze? It's always calculator glaze. He's still below Ling Yang tier. Don't say Encore glaze like that. Uh, the Lene wheelchair working wonders? Dude, the Lene wheelchair works for, like, anyone. Like, it's actually stupid. Anyone who hasn't, like, gotten a shield sub DPS just basically has Lene as their best in slot in, like, 90% case scenarios. Holy sub DPS creep, man. This is like a Tribi Hyacine, but for Wua. Wee. Do you get Yangshun Wang? No! No! For the millionth time! I cannot farm 70 poles within a few days. Okay? Chillax. Yes, you can. It's called a job. Bronte, I've already spent way too much on gotchas this month. It's actually unhealthy for my standards. I spent like $100 on Bleach Soul Resonance. I've spent like $50+ on Wuwa because of the surprise Prolova and her weapon on my QU1 account. I've spent like another 50 on ZZZ. I spent another like I don't know how much on HSR. Like, that's already way above what I should be spending. I pray for you, and I was originally planning to drop another 100 on ZZZ for Yeshun Guang too, but I held myself back. I also had to get like a bunch of fucking last minute Christmas presents for fam too. Like, oh my god, dude, just thinking about it hurts. That costed me so much. Reduce the amount of your accounts. It's unhealthy. I already have. I'm only playing on this Woo account. I'm only playing now only my one HSR account. And then I'm like semi logging into my ZZZ account. Not even like consistently. I've already cut it down a shit ton. Donjin still not showing up in the story is sad. They were like, maybe like Donjin's story relevance was based on how long people could clear an endgame with her. So like they had this entire 1 year plus plan of how to reintroduce Donjin for the Donjin mains. And then when they saw she couldn't solo anymore, they just gave up on them. They were disgusted by the Donjin mains giving up. That's probably how it went. What is this? Not just running around doing nothing anymore. Unwatchable stream now. Hey, don't worry. We'll get straight back to the Gabimaru no action. The classic. I'm gonna first try this one. What the fuck is this? Easy peasy. First try. Called it. Complains he can't get enough pulls for Shun Guang. Proceeds to do nothing for 5 hours straight while yapping to stream. Bro, you don't understand. Like, oh, I don't want to do ZZZ events. I don't know what it is. I can do events in every game I play. ZZZ events are like, I can't, dude. I feel half dead every single time I try to clear them. Maybe I'm just like not used to the ZZZ environment. You know what I'm saying? Now let me gaze at some stars. Let's go. I think the events this patch are better than usual, at least. I mean, I will say, even though I like procrastinate doing ZZZ events the most, I also procrastinate doing Woo events. Like, I'm not doing this shit, bro. I'm done with this shit, okay? I'm not doing this. I'm for sure not doing this shit, man. I don't even know what this is. I don't want to know what it is. Like, I do the same thing for Woo basically. Ugh. I feel the opposite about ZZZ, but have been really disliking Woowa's events. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. I hate events and everything. Like, now that I think about it, I I've also been procrastinating doing HSR's newest fucking, what are they called in that game? Like those pet thingies, those events. Like, I haven't even touched it, dude. I can't be bothered. Like, all these gacha events are mid, man. I think the older I get, the wiser I become, and the more I just come to the realization of it all. It's like I'm nothing but a cog in the machine, and I'm slowly becoming rusty and more aware of my stability, right? Myself, my inner self, and what I can see is my absolute disgust for gacha events. Blech. Disgusting. Unk Maru. Unk. The Unk is talking, y'all. Do your knees crack when you get up? He's getting his gray hairs. Like, I realize I sound incredibly thought provoking, but trust me, I'm still in my prime years, okay? There's nothing unk about me except for my vast knowledge. Oh, you guys want some real combat? Here you go. Oh, watch this. Oh my goodness. Oh, go into floor? Oh my goodness. Is this Gabby gameplay? Wait, I couldn't do the res lib. Oh, fuck. Well, alright, let's go kill these guys so we can get the res lib off. Goodbye. Holy a boba. Vast knowledge of anime girls in HSR. Couldn't be happier about it. I love me some woman. My eyes cannot comprehend non-running gameplay. I can't see anything. Love me some pixels. Hey, pixels go hard, dude. Pixels go hard. And so do I. No. Blood thinks he's Einstein. See, a true genius doesn't compare himself to others. He simply keeps improving upon himself, right? So I don't compare myself to Einstein. I don't think myself as someone else. I'm simply me, right? I'm simply me. That's all I think about. They survive 5 seconds because of air erosion immunity. Yep. HSR events are quick enough that it doesn't bug me. Uh, lately they've been making ones that like have fatter jades put into them, but are significantly like wider in terms of like time you need to put in. But yeah, HSR is still like really fast and easy. HSR is like so self-aware of its audience that they literally make it so that like halfway when you're through a long time event, a lot of the time, like it'll just unlock auto. Like get a certain amount of progress and you'll just be able to auto it, which makes the second half way easier. Hello, Gumar. Hmm. I just realized this thing is playing a radio. Turn it off. My favorite auto battler. The thing is, I've literally never used the auto battle in HSR. Like until recently. Legit for like the last 1+ years I've been playing the game since Pentagony released. I just didn't touch the auto battle. It's only recently because like I have absolutely broken teams like E2 Evernight, E2 Castris, Premium Phanon. and I'm like getting accustomed to putting it on auto. But sometimes I still forget. I just forget auto's a real thing in the game. Bro didn't been doing his dailies without auto battle, literally. Like, I only started doing them a little bit ago. Why is the Wua map empty? How do you think this game got to 50 gigs of space on mobile when it's only at 1.5 years old? Like half this shit, actually no, more than half this shit is like empty space. It's just for like the bike to like have fun and stuff, I guess. But like yeah, like literally, what the fuck is this? Yeah, exactly, Bronte. Like there are huge patches. Like if we go to the Void Worm, actually, yeah, like over here, dude. Like this entire thing is just fucking desert. This entire like large ass section is just nothing but desert, and then this Void Worm. Do you realize you're a niche micro celeb? I wouldn't even go that far, dude. Social media is so much more popular these days. Like 6K subs is like easy for so many people. People don't even like watching me because my content is completely unedited. I'd say micro celeb is like 20K plus, maybe. Maybe. And even then, like you can have people that just like fall off. Like I've legit seen a gacha creator a little while back that like struggled to even get like 4-digit views on any video, and they had like nearly 100K subs. It's probably because they took a break or something, but YouTube is just so weird. Someone with like way less subs will still make way more money because it's just views based. Holy shit, I never realized how far her attacks go in floor. That's like insane. Alright, let's go nuke these guys. Unedited content? How could you? What's next? No audio, just unwatchable gameplay? I mean, I've technically done that. Was it with an HSR video before, I think. Burp. Did you try the new Pure Fiction? Yeah, I cleared it. I got like, okay. I refuse to say the score I got because it's for whatever reason a meme in the Big 26, but it starts with a 6, right? And I could have gotten full 40Ks, but I was talking about it earlier in the stream. The swarm bugs, I used my Phanon on that side. The entire team got CC'd by the bugs for 2 cycles straight before I could even get into Phanon's ult, which made me lose so much fucking score. I did not have a fun time. But then my Cassie just got 40K, so all's well. Have you tried ZZZ's co-op? Why would I want to play with real human beings? I'm friendless. I like being alone. Lonely. That's a part of me, okay? It's built into my core. Getting trolled by bugs? Yeah. Do you think the hologram should be in endgame mode? Yes. That's literally what everybody, like 90% of this game's player base, what they thought Double Pawn's Matrix would be was straight up just the hollows as an endgame. That's literally what they thought it was. That's like what most people want. Yeah, and even then, Bronte, it's like I brought this up in my video recently. It's the oldest like 1.x bosses. So like even though they're holograms and once you get into like round 2 and shit, like they just don't compare in difficulty to the newest hollow bosses. So like you can still do your normal rotations if you just press dodge here and there a few times. So it isn't really like all that punishing in my opinion when you go into round 2. Like really Fallen Barangol in the Big 26? Like who the hell's falling for his move set? Let's be honest, man. Like we've been on to his ass for a long time now. Nice, Solus. When will you win your next 50-50? Fucking never, man. I mean, technically, the next 50-50 pity I'll probably hit is on this Woowa account. So, we'll find out soon because I'm on like 40 something pity at this point. Nada. Gotcha Community has to realize this game will never make an endgame mode that you can't buy your way out. Well, yeah, I know. But, like, technically, holograms is literally the exact same thing. Like, you can buy your way out of holograms by having, like, so incredibly strong teams that you just kill them before they can do enough damage, like, significant damage to you. Like, this is a real thing. People can just, like, roll up with an S6 cart to a hologram and completely ignore like a second phase, especially because of her high ass HP. They can just brute force it. Funny how two of the four bosses are Glacial Res 2. They really hate Carlotta. Yeah. Hockey Not Agenda is evolving. I've seen people are taking it to new heights. How did you spend your Christmas? Uh, I sat in my room just gooning and planning on making videos and talking with my cousin for the majority of the day. And yeah, that's basically what I did. I was forced by my family. They pulled myself a capybara down while I was clawing at the floor, trying to keep myself in my room. They forced me to come down for Christmas because they wanted to do like, oh, let me take a picture of your presents and shit. Like, oh, bro, like, come on. I know I look good, but like, come on. You know, you've already got enough pictures of me at this point, so. But you know, I had to oblige my fans and everything. Nothing beats spending Christmas alone in your room. I'm saying, Bronte. Like, I am saying. There's truly nothing better. Hopefully you didn't do all that at the same time. No, don't worry, dude. Separate time periods. I saw Gabi Maro on Chisa's lap while she was gaming. True. Real and true. Fact. Fact checked by me. OF1, that's banned for capybaras. Capybaras don't do that stuff, sorry. Spending Christmas with friends, though? Mid. I didn't log into HSR and WUA for 2 weeks straight. Why'd you ever come back? Why'd you come back? Christmas is for extra parasocial streams. Back to work I go now that holidays and weekend are over. Oh no, man. Like, why is my own chat reminding me of real life responsibilities that I have to uphold soon? Oh my goodness. Just ruined my mood. Just ruined my mood. Were you gooning to Santa? That would be called. No. Why would I ever goon to Santa, man? Santa is such like a pure soul. He just drops down from chimneys, gives some. Wait, no. You give him. Oh yeah, he's the one that eats the cookies and milk, not the other way around. Yeah, but he drops presents. You know, he drops presents. What if Santa was a hot Gyaru? Well, then we may be able to arrange something, right? Maybe I'd ask Santa for something a little spicy. I don't know. We can make a few rule changes here and there. Reality checks do tune break damage. So then what does like tune rupture and tune strain? Like getting rejected? Getting rejected, I guess, puts you on tune strain. And then getting like shot or heavily injured is like tune rupture when you think about it, right? Because it's like one big hit, but like it doesn't last any longer. You know what, dude? I need to go to sleep, man. Like, what the fuck am I talking about? Uh, hope you guys enjoyed the bike riding that you've been watching me do for like 2 hours. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night.